Bonjour, hola, dobry dzień, ni hao, salam, shalom, good morning. This is not the Eurovision, nor am I Steve Crocker, as you may have noticed and Nancy told you. And we are innovating at this meeting. In my capacity as the Regional Vice President, it is my privilege to be officiating as the Master of Ceremony for this opening. And so it's with great pleasure that I would like to welcome you all to the 54th public meeting of ICANN. Welcome to Europe, welcome to Dublin. I'm delighted to see so many of you here from all over the world, our stakeholders, leaders of our sister internet organizations, from the IETF to ISOC, the RERs, and so many others. And good to have you all here. And thank you for making it to ICANN54. I'd also like to recognize and thank the Minister of Communications, Energy and Natural Resources, Alex White-TD, and his staff for being here and for all their help in preparing for this momentous event, and also for their help in facilitating the visa processes for some attendees. Now, I have many friends in this community, in this room. Some of them have known me for quite a long time, long ago, in fact, when I still had hair. And I received a very clear cross-community consensus advice from those of them who knew that I was going to speak here this morning. They said, keep it short. And so it's therefore without further ado, and with great honor and pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, that I would like to call on stage the ICANN Board Chair, Dr. Stephen Crocker.
It's a good crowd here this morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Jean-Jacques. Understand what James Joyce meant when he said, "When I die, Dublin will be written in my heart." Dublin's literary heritage is phenomenal. As you walk these streets between sessions, remember you are following the footsteps of George Bernard Shaw, poet W.B. Yeats, playwright Oscar Wilde, and many others. In fact, it was Wilde who once said something that may serve us well in the coming week. Success is a science. If you have the conditions, you get the result. So let's hope that the week ahead will be defined by successful results. And I want to add my warm welcome to the ministers and all stakeholders who are joining us in Dublin and all others around the globe joining us remotely, along with regional internet registries, our sister internet organizations, the iStars. And I should note at this point that we're extremely grateful to our host, the Internet Neutral Exchange, or INEX, which has been an amazingly helpful host. If you haven't heard, INEX has put together what promises to be a wonderful gala this evening, which is basically going to be spread across 4 prominent Dublin bars. And before anyone gets too excited, let me remind you that tomorrow is also a work day. I'm told you'll need a wristband for the event, so if you haven't picked one up already, they're available at the INEX booth in the exhibitor area. So that's the fun part of the meeting. Now let's talk about the work part, and particularly the transition. For some, the work here in Dublin actually began last week with some important meetings involving the IANA stewardship transition. And let me ask, how many people have been here since last week working on this? Yeah. So for all of you and for me, even though this is Monday morning, this is the middle of our work week, so to speak. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already feeling some of the pressure and some of the fatigue. So let me suggest that we all stand up and take a stretch and get ready for this, the next half of our working time. So the next time we all get up and stretch, there'll be some alcohol in our hands, I hope. All right. So without a doubt, many of us are indeed focused on this issue, as are people all around the globe. We're being watched carefully. And this is definitely a turbulent time. And it's challenging everybody. It's challenging everybody in this room. It's challenging our communities, the staff, the board, for sure. And it's also an opportunity. It's also an opportunity to show everyone how we work together. Make no mistake, the pressure is on and the world is watching. It's been 18 months since the U.S. government asked ICANN to facilitate a global multi-stakeholder sequence of meetings aimed at formulating a proposal on how best to transition the IANA stewardship functions. Since that time, stakeholders from around the globe have worked tirelessly on the issue of how best to enhance ICANN's accountability. Let me give you a glimpse of just how much work has gone into these efforts. Roughly 300 people have been involved with working groups. More than 340 meetings have been held, and there have been 25,000 mailing list exchanges. And I suspect many people here have actually tried to read every one of those. This is a multi-stakeholder model in action, and I want to just take a moment to thank everyone who's been involved. So thank you all. This meeting, ICANN54, is an important milestone. The finish line, we believe, is now in sight. The board has certainly come together and is committed to facilitate and support the community in every way that we can, and it's my sincere hope that we all come together in a positive spirit that is punctuated by mutual respect. Even though the transition is front and center on all of our plates, there are a couple of other things that are in progress as well. For example, even though we're focused on the transition, we have a search underway to succeed our unique and impossible to duplicate CEO Fadi Shahadi. But he'll be leaving soon, and as I said, the search is underway. We're pretty much on schedule, which is a real challenge in these kinds of activities. We are currently interviewing candidates, and it remains our plan to be able to announce a new CEO sometime around the first of the year. This is also, as you're aware, our annual general meeting, and that means that there will be some board members departing and new board members joining us. We will be making that precise change of departing, the current board members leaving and new board members arriving at the very tail end of the session on Thursday afternoon. Please join us at the public board meeting that follows the public forum. And I would also encourage you to attend a special session just prior to the public forum when we recognize some of our valued community leaders for their tireless community contributions. And another piece of business, we have been looking at some time on how we run these meetings. I'm told that we have 1,800 people or so checked in for this meeting and some 371 sessions scheduled. That's an extraordinary number. There you see the slide showing the growth of meetings and attendees over time. We've grown quite a bit. Clearly, our meeting strategy has to evolve to keep up with the increasing number of attendees and escalating demand for sessions, and this is true even if we remain stable at the numbers that we are now. 2 years ago, the board formed a meeting strategy working group with broad cross-community membership, and after a great deal of work and study and public comment, this group came up with a new strategy for ICANN meetings to make more efficient use of our time and to facilitate broader choices in where we hold meetings. The problem is that if we keep having meetings this size, we'll have to keep coming back to Dublin. We wouldn't want to do that, would we? We would, actually. In any case, after a great deal of work, we came up with a new strategy to make more efficient use, And I'll take a minute to go over this new strategy, which begins with our next meeting, ICANN54 in Morocco, a slide showing the framework. So we have now a differentiation among the types of meetings we have. We call them A, B, and C. We're not very creative with our naming. The A meeting is comparable to what we have been using. The B meeting in June, in the middle of the year, next year, will be curtailed, and the C meeting will be expanded. The B meeting obviously will be one in which we are not doing certain things, and in particular, we won't have a welcoming speech like this and a number of other things. There'll be an opportunity to interact and discuss any of these during the second public forum on Thursday. The board will have an opportunity to respond to any questions that you may have about this or any other topics, and it will be interesting and welcoming to hear your questions. The third meeting of the year, which will be held generally around this time, is again similar to what we currently do, but extended a bit to 7 days, which will allow an opportunity to showcase the community's work and also to showcase it to a broader global community. And again, there will be 2 public forums and a welcome session as there are. You can find out more about all of this on the ICANN website, which I encourage you to do. That's the way ICANN meetings will look in the future, but let's jump back to this meeting. There's obviously a lot of work to do, but what we accomplish here is more important and will help define the future. And please remember one very important thing: by defining the future, we also define ourselves. Thank you, and have a very good week. It's now my great honor to introduce you to the chair of INEX and host of our meeting, Niall Murphy. Niall has been involved in Ireland's internet industry since 1994, and he's been with INEX since 1999. He's currently co-writing a history of the internet in Ireland through his day job as leading the ad site reliability engineering team at Google Ireland. Niall?